Good morning. Good morning and welcome to another edition of Import Export Platform Facebook Live from 3 Trade Academy. My name is Dele Ayemibo and I will be continuing our conversation this morning on starting and managing export business, and I'll be looking at part 11. I'll be looking at part 11. We talked about getting started with export business yesterday, and in the course of our conversation, we mentioned the fact that you need to register a limited liability company. You need to get an export certificate, also called export license. You need to open an export DOM account. You need to have an email with your domain name, your name at your domainname.com. You need to have your own domain name for website. You need to develop a website, and lastly, you need to join a chamber of commerce. Those are the things we discussed yesterday, and I'll continue on that trajectory today. This morning I'll be talking about the need to register as a paid member on trade portals, e.g. TradeKey, Alibaba and the like. Registering as a paid member on trade portal. Registering as a paid member of trade portal. Now, there are different trade portals in the world. A trade portal is basically a platform, usually online, where buyer and seller of a particular product or commodity or service meet to transact. As a seller, I can place there what I have. As a buyer, I can place there what I want, and a seller and a buyer will contact me and place their order. But the issue here is, if you register on those platforms as a free member, it's going to be a waste of time. If you register on those platforms as a free member, it's going to be a waste of time. The reason is because this portal are designed for profiteering. So people that design it did not design it for it to be free. Of course, because of we're in the era of freemium, they allow some free services, which is just a strategy to be able to get you to know what they have or what they could offer, and then eventually find yourself subscribing to those services. So they offer free service. They don't just offer free service. You get some benefit as a free member, actually. Only that your chance of getting a completed deal is low. Reason being that most of the important deals, most of them, are not something that many people are doing. If what you render in terms of service is not very common, and very few people can supply those goods or service around the world, most likely you might find yourself, even as a pre-member, getting the stuff as if you are a paid member. As having access as if you are a paid member. Because eventually, whenever you get to see it and you send a mail or message, there's a response. Respond not because respond because of the scarcity of the skill or the product in question. You know why? For some of them, number one, for some sites, when a buyer posts a request, as a seller, you will not find it. You will not get to see it. You will not get to see it. A buyer posts a request as a seller, you will not get to see it. You will not get to see it. Until maybe after a week or a month before you can see it, and you might not even have access to the email. And what some people do is, when a buyer posts a request, you will get the mail and alert, but you won't be able to reach the buyer. You won't get to have his phone number, his name, his email. You don't have any information. Just know that, okay, so and so, someone is demanding for this product in so and so country. That's all you get to know. That's all you get to know. Remile Komotayo, long time. long time. Charles Ebude, thank you very much for joining. Good morning and welcome. All right. So registering as a paid member become extremely valuable, become extremely important. Registering as a paid member on any platform become extremely valuable and important. And I can mention some right away. We have tradekey.com, we have alibaba.com, we have tradeindia.com, we have globalbuyersonline.com, we have goforwardbusiness.com. I'm trying to remember it. There's so many of them. What you can do is to read them up to know exactly what each of them offer, and then let that inform your decision on which of them really you would like to work with, based on what they offer and the value they can deliver to you. Based on what they offer and the value they can deliver to you. The cheapest I've seen so far is Global Buyers Online. I think they charge less than $300 for a whole year, whereas some charge almost $1,000 for a month. All of them have whatever value they are delivering and the objective for their business or businesses. Join a chamber of commerce. Register as a paid member on a trade portal. Ensure you have an email signature. What does this mean? Whenever you want to send a mail out, ensure the mail have on the lower left corner your name, your phone number, your email, your everything about you that they can be used to reach you. On the lower left corner, please try and drop it there, so that when they see your mail, they can easily reach you. Approach export as a business and not as an investment channel. Approach export as a business and not as an investment channel. What do I mean by this? When you are going into this business, don't think of investing, think of building. So even if you don't have your own business yet, and you have to work on export, don't think of just investing, think of building. Building, think of long term. Investing, think of short term. Think of what you can build. Think of building. Think of very, very, very long term orientation. Sorry. Okay. See every challenge as a learning curve. See every challenge as a learning curve. I've mentioned this before. I will try to explain again. When you are doing a business, you are starting a new venture, nobody knows you, and you need to be, you want to be able to penetrate the market, get people to know you. You might need to ensure that at the end of the day, you are building a business that has an enduring legacy. What I mean by that is this. If you run away from a business because you have a challenge, any other business you run into, you most likely will face the same challenge. Because life is full of challenges. There is no venture you go into that you will not face a challenge. Because of that, what you should find a way to do is to see how you can solve any problem or challenge that confronts you. See how you can solve every problem or challenge that confronts you. For every success you record there, for every progress you record there, it takes you to the next level. If you run away from the problem, you will take that exam again. Every problem comes to you as a test. When you bolt away from it, it comes back to you again. When you bolt away from it, it comes back to you again. So don't try to run away from the problem. Find a way to solve it. And how do you solve problem? Thinking. Thinking about solution. Thinking about solution. Thinking about solution. Thinking about solution. Thinking about how to solve that problem, profiling solutions. Thinking about solutions. And this is so critical and so important. Thinking about solutions. Thinking about solutions. Thinking about solutions. This is so critical and so important. Thinking about solutions. Profiling solutions. Profiling solutions. Thinking about solutions. Thinking about solution, providing solution to the problem. Reading, learning, training will help you to solve the problem. Reading, learning, training will help you to solve the problem. Reading, learning, training will help you to solve the problem. Have a vision of the size of the company you want to build. I've talked about it before, so I won't waste time on that again. Decide on the item you would like to export. Ensure personal development in export preparation, or hire a staff to do that job. Conduct research on the product quality specification. Have a control over procurement, processing, and packaging. Any item you want to do, ensure you have a control over procurement, over processing and packaging. And lastly, develop capacity, courage, and commitment to make it success. Develop capacity, courage, and commitment to make it success. Develop capacity, courage, and commitment to make the business successful. To make the business successful. To make the business successful. Now, in trying to also start an export business, there are things prohibited for exportation in Nigeria. In trying to start an export business, there are things or items prohibited for exportation in Nigeria. And this item include, you can actually find this on the website of Nigerian Customs Service. Nigerian Customs Service. Maize, timber, raw hides and skin, scrap metals, unprocessed rubber latex and rubber lump, artifact and antiquities, wildlife classified as endangered species like crocodile, elephant, and lizard, and then all imported item. All imported item. All imported item are prohibited for importation in Nigeria. To register to export, you need to have an export license. And to get the export license, simply work with the Nigerian Export Promotion Council. The license is very cheap. It's 13.5. It's valid for 2 years, and you can get it within a week. You don't need anybody for you to be able to get the license. You don't need anybody for you to get the license. Remember, you need to be a limited liability company to be able to get the license, or an NGO, but export must be described as one of the objectives of the company. One of the focus of this starting and managing your export program is actually value-added product. Value-added product, be it food and non-food. Value-added product, be it food and non-food. Value-added agriculture is a portfolio of agricultural practices that enable farmers to align with consumer preferences for agriculture or food with form, space, time, identity, quality characteristics that are not in conventionally produced raw agricultural commodities. Value add is so critical in our world today. Value add is so important in our world today. If value is not added sincerely, you will not be able to get all that you should derive from that transaction. And that's why our talk and our fight and everything we'll be doing has been, how do we increase value addition? How do we inculcate in people the need for them to begin to think of how to add value to whatever it is that they are doing? Adding value is extremely critical. Adding value is extremely important. Adding value is so critical. You know, many people don't add value, and when you don't add value, you basically are mortgaging your business, mortgaging your time, mortgaging your life. You are not getting the best from yourself. When you do not add value, you know what has happened is that some people have used more time to more work on that product, and that conversion of their time to do a little more work on that product is earning them more income than you. That effort they are making to add some value to that product is giving them more value than you. And Africa has remained so small. Africa has remained so poor. Africa has not been able to make desired progress in the export space simply because Africa has concentrated on raw commodity. And the West have sold to us. They sold a lie to us. They've sold to us that we must keep shipping commodity. They've made us to believe this is the way for us to go. In fact, they tell us that agriculture is the way to go. And when they think about agriculture, they are not thinking about agriculture the way we think about agriculture. They think about agriculture as way of generating renewable energy. They think about agriculture as a way of generating raw material for manufacturing. They think about agriculture as a way of replacing hydrocarbon. They think about agriculture as a way of generating even clean energy, fuel, and the like. We think about agriculture as a way of exporting it to them. And we celebrate the exportation of commodities. We are excited in exporting commodities. We are happy to export the commodities. Why are we doing this? They've sold a lie to us. Do you know what they do? They even come to us to teach us how to process, how to farm, and be able to provide for them their commodity, their raw materials. They come in form of aid. They record it as an aid to Africa, as aid to Nigeria, and they will come to train us on how to farm sesame seed, to train us on how to farm cashew nut, to train us on how to farm cocoa, to train us on how to do ginger. And what they are basically trying to do is to ensure what we are selling to them is prepared in a way that is adequate for them to use. When will Africa wake up to the reality of the fact that commodity export is modern slavery, and that commodity export keep us so small, it doesn't help us to be able to make desired progress. Commodity export keep us so small, and it doesn't help us to be able to make desired progress. Commodity effort keep us so small, and we are unable to make that desired progress. Do you know that Africa volume of export keep increasing every year in terms of metric tons of export? Probably even some little money we are making on it. But when you look at it at the end of the day, we are not making progress and growing export. Because majority of the item we are shipping are exported as raw materials. Raw materials. But when you add value, you triple, quadruple how much you can earn from even a fraction of the same item you exported. Until we wake up to the reality of what the West is doing to us, we might not be able to make our desired growth. Fact, growth will be very far away from Africa. Growth will be very far away from Africa until Africa come to the realization of the fact that we cannot continue to sell commodity, and they will buy it at peanuts, and they will send to us finished product, and they will not be happy for us to add value. So they will not buy our value-added product and say, no, it's from Africa. They do not take into cognizance. In fact, they will increase their requirement. You will now need a license or one certification or the other. Things they know you will not be able to get, they put it on, so that you will be consigned to only send commodity. That's a strategy they use against us for many years. And it will be very great if Africa can wake up to the reality of what the West is doing to us, that we can begin to do what we need to do, and don't be excited about the fact that we are exporting commodity like yam, and don't be excited about the fact that we are exporting commodity like like cocoa, like sesame seed. When some people are excited about the export of integrated circuit, cars, automobiles, value addition is critical. Value-added agri can be characterized by farmers changing their position in the supply chain, creating closer or direct linkage between themselves and the consumer, and changing production processes to alter and preserve certain intrinsic characteristics of their farm or ranch product. And in value addition, it doesn't have to be the farmer that will add the value. Just find the place where you see gap, take advantage of that gap, and you'll be amazed you make that progress. Look at where you see gap, take advantage of that gap, and you'll be aware of the progress that you can make. Take advantage of the gap is there already. The gaps are there already. The gaps are great, are huge, are important. The gap are so much that if only you can really take a second look at it, you'll be amazed at what you can do yourself. You will be amazed at what you can do yourself because of that giant leap effort being made to be able to grow non-oil export in Nigeria. This generalized definition emphasizes the linkage between consumer preferences as sources of value-added agriculture and the practices enabling farmers to capture that value, and farmers' policy makers' objective relating to the motivation of value-added agriculture to consumer preference, help farmers to think beyond products they are producing and analyze the opportunity to be finally rewarded for creating value for customers. And that has led to many things we now do in agri today. These have led to many things we now do in agri today. From cloning to change the configuration to the output of the product, and from just selling fruit to processing the fruit and removing the juice, from just telling people to pick it up at the farm gate to delivering the product beyond the farm gate to where the people are, or where the potential customers are based. I'll be rounding off now, and remember what we've discussed today. We've talked about the need for us to add value-added agri, and in this evening today I'll be emphasizing on those products we can add value to. And when we add value to them, what they become, especially on the food side now, where they become, and how we can eventually grow our business. Thank you very much for listening to me again this morning. My name is Dele Ayimibo, and this Import-Export platform Facebook Live from Treatment Trade Academy. Please remember to like our Facebook page and also follow us on YouTube that YouTube channel. If you search my name, Bamidele Ayimibo, you'll find me on YouTube. Follow up on YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at 3T Impex. Follow up on Facebook, facebook.com/3T Impex. And follow up on YouTube, where you also see us as 3T Impex. Thank you very much for listening. See you in the evening by 8 p.m. as I continue the discussion on value-added export. I'm focusing primarily on agri. Bye for now, and have a great day.